Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Arknights reaction. Today we have In Your Blue Eyes, as requested by C Phantom in the comments in the last section. And before Voltorian gets mad at me, yes, technically Voltorian's request did win the popular vote of last comment section, but that song is like a whole 10.5 minutes long for all the different phases it apparently has, and that's just frankly too much today. So if you want me to get to that next week, request it again. I'm sure it'll win in the comments section again, but I don't have that time today, so I'm just going to be doing this one. And I suppose without further ado, let's go. All right, this is the Bang Dream thing. Right, it said that in the comment. I just totally forgot. I don't really think I've seen much of Bang Dream, really. I think I've seen one of the seasons of the anime. It was probably the first one. It's probably been years. I like where this is going. Really cool visuals, too. I love the artsy shit. For obvious reasons. Ooh. Ooh. Kicking right into it. It's a little bit of a bummer that the cymbals in the drum kit are just lost in here. Loving this, like, guitar riff. Ooh. Hold on. I like that more. I spoke too soon. The song's got a lot of space in it. Not so much in the mix. It's just very paced. It's pacing itself. Oh, not the pauses around the guitar solo, dude. What the fuck? That's sick. Ooh, getting jazzy in there. Extremely compressed piano, too. I mean, I didn't expect anything bad coming from a music collaboration with Arknights, the music company. But it's been so long since I've heard anything from Bang Dream at all in a general sense that I kind of forgot the sound they go for in it. So that was kind of neat to hear again. Okay, so I had to go back and make sure that I wasn't going crazy. I have seen the first season of the anime. That's where I recognized what I recognized out of it. It's definitely the story of Poppin' Party. It's not Ave Mujica, which is fine. I just know that they exist because I've heard songs within this property since then. It's just not super common. Once in a while, I'll get them on like my drum request streams, for example. But otherwise, I don't really know too much about the Bang Dream property aside from what 2017 that season 1 came out. So like that's about all I got. It's been that long since I've really sunk my teeth into any part of it. I think I honestly dropped it because I think season 2 looked shit. I'll be real with you. I think that's why. I usually stick with anime pretty solid as long as the production value stays consistent. And since I dropped that for some reason, I'm assuming that that's probably why. It's a guess. It might look fine, but if they like introduce like crappy CG or something, that would be a problem. Got nothing wrong with CG in anime, but sometimes they just don't do it justice and it looks shit, let's be real. But that's kind of irrelevant. Hopefully none of you are mad at me for saying that, just throwing it out there. Again, it's been many years, almost a decade now, so like I don't remember much of it, but this song, really good. As far as the composition goes, everything else I'm a little bit more wary of. I think that the mixing and mastering on this one is leaving a little bit to be desired. The guitars are pretty clear. The voice, she has such like a rich tone in her voice that it's kind of difficult to hear at some points because everything else kind of feels muddy in the mix as well. And like I mentioned during the reaction, the cymbals, especially on the drum kit, you could hear the heads just fine. Those were like right up front, very like front mixed, but the cymbals were just kind of an afterthought and they were just kind of getting lost in all of the sauce back here. So it's like that happens sometimes and it does kind of bum the experience for me as a drummer because I like to hear the detail in the kit a little bit. It doesn't take away from the rest of the song and what it's doing, like the composition again, perfectly fine. But when it comes down to the mix and the enjoyability of it, it just leaves me with that experience of going, man, why can't I enjoy this a little bit more? Probably because I can't hear certain things that my ear is trying to tune to. And that goes for the voice as well. There was just a beautiful quality about her voice in this one, but for whatever reason, it just felt a little bit flat. Like there was a lot of frequencies just kind of thrown out instead of utilized and allocated to where they should be in the mix. I'm a fan of that like more crispy, everything can be heard mix. I like to hear the bass guitar, I like to hear the drums, I like to hear everything, you know? So it's when I can't hear those or they get like pushed into the back like the cymbals for this one, it just leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Nothing awful though. For example, the chord progression of this one is super chill. I adore this sort of like dark sound. This is in a D minor, so we get that. We get a little bit of B flat in there, and I think that there is A or A minor. It might be a little bit of both. I think it's like, that feels right. Like, yeah, that's got it. Okay, so D minor, C, A minor, and B flat. So like I just had to figure that out because I had a feeling that those were the ones that were in here, but I hadn't really listened to it specifically to the point of like really breaking things down like I usually do. Like I said in the intro, a little bit short on time today, so I'm kind of rushing this a little bit, but there's a lot of movement happening in here. I do believe that they hit on the F a little bit in there too, and there's like a lot of arpeggiating on that D minor too, just to add that little sparkle that this song has, especially utilizing the piano. Like again, the mix thing here with the piano, I like that they overly compress the piano in this song. That might be completely contradictory to what I just said about not being able to hear every frequency, but sometimes it's a pure stylistic approach, and for that hyper compressed sound for the piano, for a like relatively a rock song, this is what you would do. You would make that hyper compressed piano be a part of it, because it just feels better in that beefy rocky mix. The drums being in a weird spot are completely irrelevant to that. I like what they did with the piano here, and it just kind of made everything glue together well, especially for those little arpeggiating little flicks and everything that are just kind of in there, kind of pretty much everywhere throughout here. I think there was, is that one. That's an E flat. That's in the song as well. I know it. There's got to be, see, we had the E flat in there. That means that would be F. That'd be, maybe. That might be in there. That's an F sharp. I'm not positive with that one. It very well could be though. Especially nearing the end of the chorus, there was a lot of stepping around, like constantly moving the chords. So it was going like D minor, probably had the A in there again, maybe an A minor potentially. The B flat was definitely in there again. I could imagine going from the E flat to the E minor as like a step up for like a G minor. That could be. That's probably in there too. Yeah, that could very well be. Sorry, I'm just, again, kind of working through this very quickly, so I'm futzing around more than usual, but I do love this relationship, which is, from what I could tell, most of the, like, verse stuff is just B flat and this like D minor in here. But like I said, the composition of this is beautiful. I love how this sounds so dark and mysterious. It doesn't have that like usual poppy flair that you would get in a lot of Idol stuff, and I know that Bang Dream kind of like runs the gambit of like being rock pop idols and just all these bands within this universe, and it's like this is like their goth rock sound, I would say, is more what this genre is, and I like that. I like this dark tone. Like I said, it just has a good feel to it, and it just sounds so intriguing. And with this progression, it just has that same sort of build where you start high, drop low, and only slightly lift back up into that B flat. There's, again, probably variance in there and what it does, but it's just a beautiful song that is unfortunately hindered by the mid-mix. I hate having to say that when that happens, but it's a great song otherwise. The only thing holding the song back to me is definitely that like post-processing stuff that happened after the song was made, because otherwise it was extremely well performed, and I like what they were doing with all of the progressions and everything. Sounded so dark, mysterious, and beautiful. The perfect sort of tone for a band like this, and again, the vocalist, perfect tone for the vocals here. I'm not sure what the context is for this collaboration, if there is one, or if it's just, here's some skins, maybe they threw some of the characters from the game in there. I'm not entirely positive there, but I do like what they're going for here. Again, the only problem I've got with it is a little bit of the mix, and even that isn't the worst thing ever. It's just a little bit under what I would qualify as a good one, so probably like a 6, you know, somewhere in the middle, but like not awful either. It's not a 3 or anything. But I do think that's about all I gotta say on this one, so thank you all so very much for watching. Sorry that this was kind of a rushed video this week, but I've got a lot of other stuff to do today. If you have another song you want me to get to, or you want me to get to the one that Voltorian said I should get to, but I didn't get to it, drop those in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those, hopefully with more time next week. And otherwise, if you just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!